welcome back to UE5 BP Guru. Today we're going to be continuing on with the attack mechanics that we've been working on. Hopefully it won't be too much longer now, and we should have working attack. Possibly another 2 or 3 episodes, but we'll try and make it 2 rather than 3. But let's crack on without further ado. Open up your battle proxy because we're going to be back in there. And we're now going to be taking a look at all the functions and getting them working, basically. So this is what you should have had after the last 2 episodes. This lovely, long, crazy code. And we're going to come into set attacker and defender. And we're going to promote these to variables. I believe we may have already done this. We'll set it as this one for now. It could be the wrong one. I can't quite remember, but I'm sure it'll be fine. No, we need... That is the wrong one. Sorry. We need to create 2 new variables. They need to be integers. And we're going to create the first one as... we'll call it attacker index. And we need another one. And we'll call this defender index. This is so we can keep track of who is our attacker and who is our defender on each team. So just set those like so. And plug in these index so we can keep track of them. We then need to do a for each loop with a break. And we're going to plug that in there. We'll put in some rewrite nodes to keep everything nice and tidy. And then we're going to get our newly created attacker index. Not set, we want to get. Like so. And we're going to check to see if these are equal. I'm just going to do it like that for now. Do a branch. Come on, plug in. And hook up that Boolean check. And this is how we set our current attacker. So once that comes back true, we know we found the right attacker. So we can plug that in like that. And then, oh, I didn't do, my apologies. I was supposed to do a for each loop with break, not a macro. So just scoot those around like so and plug that in. There we go. And we can bring that around and plug that into the break. Create some rewrite nodes so it looks nice and neat. Just get it somewhere reasonable. That should be fine. And then the last thing we need to do is do another for each loop with break. Plug that into the complete. And this time we're going to check our defender. So bring that defender in. You can neaten things up by just adding in some rewrite nodes if you want to. And it's a similar thing. We're just going to get the defender index. And we're going to check to see if they are equal. And again, plug in a branch. Like so. And we will set this as our current defender. Not get, set. And then we'll plug that in. Once we found that, we can break and it will just move on with the code, basically. So do that, plug that in there. And plug that in there. And we should be good to go. That's the first function down. Only like a million more to go. So we'll close that one down now because we won't need to re-enter that again. Let's go to the event graph. And the next thing we want to do is we're basically working our way along. We then check to see if the player is attacking. If it's true, we set it to the player camera. If it's false, we set it to the enemy camera. And then we're going to check our enemy status. Go into here and we're going to create, these two, by the way, categorize them as attacking, so we can keep track of all of our attacking variables, because a lot of this stuff is going to be kind of all over the place a little bit, and we want to keep track of everything we're creating for specific sections. So create a new boolean, and we'll call this one Ringmon healed. This is for status attack stuff, so like if you're inflicted with like confusion and things like that. We're going to get our current attacker. We're going to break, and the only thing we need from this is our active status. So everything else can basically be removed, so we only have the one thing from here. And we're going to switch on E active status, because we want to do certain things depending on whether we're inflicted by a status or not. So if it's none, we set this boolean we made called player can't move, we set that to false. So if it's none, if we have no affliction, the player can move, so we set player can't move to false. Now we want to do a bunch of different things here. So for now, we're going to worry about, so this is whether we can move or not. So if we're paralyzed, we're going to have obviously a chance of being able to move or not. If we're burned, poisoned, none of that's going to affect this. So what we need to do now is we need to create a new name variable. This is just to make life easier when we bring up dialogue. So we'll call this status name, and it can be type string actually. It doesn't, because it'll work better with the other stuff. So we're going to be setting this a few times. So plug that into here and say paralyzed, like so. And in these ones, we're going to put in frozen. And in this one, we're going to put asleep. I'm going to move that up here just to make it a little bit easier to see. And so it flows a bit nicer. And that should work quite nicely. So you probably already know what's coming. We're going to be setting the visibility of everything. I'm going to close a few more of these down so I can see a little bit better. If we go back to the event graph, we can grab this, our lovely node here, and we can go back into check attack status, and we'll plug this in here. We'll make sure this is visible. And then, as always, we're going to set the text. Set the text like this here. And we will make an append, string append here down the bottom, and plug that in up here. And bring that down here. And what we want to do is we want to get our current attacking Ringmon's given name. So actually we will grab this one, and we'll say, okay, bring that down here so we can see the flow a little bit better. And we're going to say plug this status name down here, and we'll say is space. So space is space. So let's say, for example, Bulbasaur space is space paralyzed in this scenario. And then if he's paralyzed or she's paralyzed, we're going to do a branch here. We're going to get a random float in range, and we want it to be from 0 to 1, and we're going to check that is equal to or less or equal to, sorry, 0. Let's say 0.33. So it has a 1 in 3 chance of being paralyzed, or basically not being able to move. And if that's true, we're going to basically just set this twice. This player can't move. And if it comes back true, we can't move. And if it comes back false, we can't move. And the last thing to do now is just to kind of copy this bit over. So we'll take this, this, and this, and this, put it up here. I'm going to move things around so it looks a little bit nicer. Like that a little bit, I guess. Will work fine. That up there and that up there. We'll neaten it up in a minute. It's fine. I just want to get this down here so we can plug that in there. Okay. And then that can go down here, and we'll do a reroute node for that. Sorry, I'm just keeping things as tidy as I can as I go, so we don't get lost along the way. So again, very similar kind of idea. We'll say the given name. So if we called it Dave, for example, Dave is, and then it'll be either asleep or frozen. And then we do a check. So this time we want to say they have a 1 in 4 chance of not being able to move when they're frozen or when they are asleep. If they are asleep or frozen, they could obviously melt. So let's say, for example, it's is it less than 1? And then if that's true, they can, of course, they'll be defrosted or they'll wake up, etc. So the way we're going to do that is we're going to we're going to get our current attacker, and we're going to set member, and that member we're going to set is our active status, and we're going to set it to none, and then we're going to set that current attacker so that it sets its new status. And then the variable we still have to set up yet is we're going to update that attacking Pokemon. And we're going to say 2 things. We're going to say the Ringmon's healed. And we're also going to say the player can move. So we'll tick that to true, and we'll tick this to true. And if that comes back false, you probably already guessed it, we're going to be setting this to false so that we can't move. And that way our system knows we can't move on, etc. So that's that one taken care of. We can close that one down now. We are slowly chipping away. That's 2 down. The next one is going to be, we're going to do the dialogue. So you probably remember from here, this pings up, then it makes a decision of what's going to happen. And then we are going to go basically back into the actual dialogue. So finish it off basically to say they were healed, they are no longer afflicted by that status, or they can't move, etc. It's gonna basically make a decision. And yeah, so player can't move. We're gonna check. Basically, we're checking to see if the player can't move. So we'll plug it into this, and we are going to. We don't need to bring up the where is it? We don't need to make this visible because it already will be visible at this point. What we do need though is we need to get that set text. So we'll plug that in here. So if they can't move, we know this. So what we can do is we can make a string append and plug that straight into there. And what we're going to do is say space can't move. And we'll go back into here and we'll grab these 2 things here. Just makes our lives a bit easier than keep creating new variables all the time. So we're just going to say given name can't move, and that's all we need to do for that one. And then down the bottom, what we want to do is check to see if the Ringmon was healed. And for that one, if they haven't been healed, so this will flow through every time. if the player can move, and the Ringmon also shows false for Ringmon healed, it will just move on and ignore all of this. But if they were initially damaged, we want to come back in and grab we will want the same thing again here. We're going to want that, and we'll take this. It's going to be messy, but we'll fix it, don't worry. We'll just drag that over. There we go. As I said, it would be messy, so it's fine. So if it's true, we just need to reset this text to is no longer space, and then that space will basically be after that the status name. We can bring this up just to keep things nice and tidy. We probably don't even need the reroute node there, to be honest. Actually, we could probably just do that. There we go. Keep things as neat as possible. So Ringmon healed, and if it's false, we don't do anything, and then that should show. So that's good. Another one bites the dust. And then if we close that one down, because that one should be done, we'll save. Make a little save now if you've got this far, so that you don't lose any progress. And then we'll go back to the event graph. So then we run a delay. That gets hidden, so that widget will disappear. And then if the player can't move, we carry on to see who was false first, and then we'll check the enemy's turn or end the turn. And if it's false, we go into using our attack. And there's one more thing that obviously could stop the flow of the fight, and that is going to be the accuracy check. So we select our move. We know our move now. We come down here. We say is using this move. Then we do an accuracy check. And this is probably our first official proper bit of Pokemon code, so that's fun. What we're going to do is we're going to get that selected move. I'm going to break that to get the only thing we should need is the move accuracy at this point. So everything else can disappear, like so. Oh, why have we still got stat down? Get rid of that as well. There we go. So we have that, and then what we need is we need the current defender. We need to break that, and we need to get just the final stats for that one. So just clear all of that out. So we just have that, and then we break that to get just the evasiveness. So we want its current evasiveness. So again, unclick all of this stuff so that we don't see anything else. And we'll copy and paste that because we should be able to just plug in our current attacker. There we go. And the only thing we need to swap around is we want the accuracy instead of the evasiveness. So what we can do now is we can do a multiply and multiply the accuracies together, like so. And then we want to also multiply that by the evasiveness. And once we've done that, we can get a we want to get a random float, and we say, is this random float equal to or less than this? And if that's true, we can attack. And if you're thinking, oh my days, it will always come back true, what happens is if the move accuracy, let's say so accuracy is always from 0 to 1 on a scale. And if your move accuracy is below 100, so let's say, for example, you have a accuracy of 80 or 0.8, it would work out as 0.8. So your accuracy should all sit between 0 and 1. Same for the move's accuracy, should be 0 to 1. So if your accuracy is 80, it should be 0.8. If you had an accuracy of 1, you would times that by 0.8, which would give you 20% less. So again, you'd have in this example 0.8. And then if your the enemy's evasiveness was 1, 1, it would keep it at 0.8. And if the random float then came out at 90 or 0.9, you would miss. So it basically affects it like that. But again, if their evasiveness was 1.1, you would end up with even smaller values. It basically will always sit between, it should always sit roughly within 0 to 1. But like those little changes to evasiveness, like 1.1 times that value, will always affect it depending. So it will always either sit above 1 or just below 1. It will never be like in the hundreds, basically. So yeah, your value should always be from 0 to 1 for both accuracy and evasiveness. Cool. And then all we need to do is say, okay, did that hit? And then we copy and paste to get 2 returns. And we say, okay, if that's true, we hit. And if it's false, we did not hit. And it's as simple as that. So that's your accuracy check in a nutshell. So with that done, I can't remember. I'm just looking at my notes. So that's that one done. And we'll see if we can get one more done. Let's have a look which one's next. I actually am going to say the next one's quite chunky because this is the actual attack now. So we'll do that in the next episode. But thank you so much, guys, for watching. Hopefully you're finding this useful and knowledgeable, and it's helping you on your journey. And yeah, thank you for being members. So yeah, if you've enjoyed this, leave the like, and I'll see you in the next episode. Much love. Take care. Bye.